But today I'm showing Engyne. So it's an all-in-one content marketing platform for specifically software startups. That's me. I used to be an ex-engineer at IBM, Apple, and Saks Fifth Avenue. I work with my co-founder. He used to be a marketing hire at OnDeck. It's a Series A startup that went from 3 million to 20 million. The problem Engyne solves is that most startups don't have the capacity or the budget to write good content. So if you want to write blog posts, most startups don't have the capacity to do so. The reason for that is the bottom line here. It actually takes a long time to write good content or come up with a good content strategy. So research takes about a month, writing content 2 months, and then you have about 2 more months to monitor and update, figuring out if the stuff that you have written is good enough or not. We're using AI, sort of do a circular loop here, where we can use AI to tell you, hey, these are the things you should write, help you write it, and then show you how the results are going. Because we use AI, we can tell you, this is working really well, it's bringing in a lot of views, write more of that, or this is not, maybe kill that. Customers come from a bunch of founder programs. We're actually part of OnDeck and League of Innovators right now. So just to show, this stuff I'm going to show you right now is in production, and I've gone through a lot of AI issues, so I'm happy to talk about them as well. So into the demos, I have 3. I'm going to let you pick 2 out of the 3 to see, just for the time. You let me know with a poll. I'm going to say the name of the number. You tell me with a hand raise if you want to see that. So number 1. Who wants to see number 1? OK. Number 2? Oh, that's tight. Number 3? There's a lot of interest for number 3. OK. I will leave out number 1. OK. And if you want to see that, you can come onto the side there. But 2 and 3, let's do that. By the way, so that's going to be using RAG. So number 2 is writing a first draft for your blog post. So let me pull up the UI here. OK, so say I'm writing a blog post. I'm going to say, what is SEO first? Nice and simple. So let's say I'm writing a blog post about that, and I want to write a draft with AI. I can either put in some bullet points to steer it in the right direction of like what I wanted to say, or I can just leave it alone. And press next, press next. One more time. All right. So it's going to go and start writing. But right now, it's just writing anything, really. It can be good, it can be bad, but it's writing something for you to start off with, right? So this is all markdown text that's coming in. It's going to write until 500-600 words, and then I can go in and edit this. Just for time, let's see if you can write the whole thing. OK, so it's showing the next step, so there you go. So now I can go in and start editing as well. But who's heard of hallucinations? Anybody? Yeah, so that's actually pretty common here. If I actually say, instead of SEO, which is a well-known subject, if I say, what is Engyne? It knows nothing about it, so it's going to just start writing whatever it can. So I'm going to go next, just next one more time, just to, there we go. So it's just gonna write something. It got some parts of it right, but not really. So it's just gonna say it's an AI-powered tool to generate written content. Funny enough, actually it uses NLP, which we don't. So it's just making stuff up, right? And this is a real problem. When you tell it to write something it doesn't know about, it's just gonna start saying something. Now, there's a fix for this, which is RAG, so Retrieval Augmented Generation. What I can do is, if I press next here, I can provide it a text source of like where to pull in information from. So I've already written something about what Engyne does. So I'm going to select that now, and I'm going to start writing. And what it's going to do is actually pull in information from that text, but still write a blog post. So now it's actually talking about SEO, which is the thing that we do. So this way, companies can actually talk about their current products without having any hallucination. So RAG here. That is number 2. Number 3 is researching competitors with a web agent. So let me show you that here. There we go. So I can generate a competitor page, so basically my product versus somebody else's product, that kind of a blog post pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is, let me just reload. So I'm going to put in my product name, and I'm going to put in a name of another company, Spontively.com. They're a Canadian SaaS company, if you know. But when I click add, what it's going to do, it's going to go out to the web, search about that company, figure out what they sell, what their features are, and what their pricing is, get all the information, show it on a page as a blog post. It's pretty quick. Watch. There we go. So what is Spontively.com? This whole paragraph actually is auto-generated, or it came from the research I did. What can Spontively do? These are features. And at the bottom here, the pricing plan starting at $49 per month, that's also it found on its own as well. So basically, you have a full blog post that you can copy paste, ready to go publish within a couple of minutes, seconds, I guess. But yeah, so that is the third one. Do we have room for one more? Yep. Okay, cool. You're getting a special, the third one as well. Okay, so number one, I actually have code for this as well, so I'll show you the code too. But getting somebody's brand voice or tone of voice is actually very important because you have a different writing style than I do. So what we can actually do is when I click edit here, I can create my brand voice. So by dropping in a URL of content that I've written before. So say you've written a blog post before, which I have. So this is a blog post that I've written before. I can copy paste that and put it here. When I click create, what it does is it goes out and reads that blog post, and it's going to come back with what it thinks my tone sounds like. That tone is critical and disillusioned, conveys a strong message, and so it goes on and on. But basically, I can then take this, I don't like that it says humor is minimal. So it can actually apply this tone of voice when I start writing with AI in the blog post section I showed you. So yeah, that's the first one. And here, if you wanted to see some code, here's for this tone of voice. This is how it works. Let me just zoom in. You pass in the URL of the article or the blog post. Then I get the article by extracting the text from the URL. By the way, I limit it to 2,000 characters only, so only the first 2,000 characters are used. I'm not grabbing like a massive page. And then all I'm doing is passing it to ChatGPT. And that's kind of like what all of AI and like products that are in production are, using creative ways to pass information off to ChatGPT, but really making the workflows tight. So yeah, here's what I said. Below is an excerpt of some writing, analyze the tone, how I form sentences, yada, 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 and then give me a 200-word paragraph summary. That's how I implemented that. And yeah, so that's everything I have. Yeah, I share a lot more stuff on how I build these things on my LinkedIn. Feel free to grab me there. I'll also be sitting there with a Diet Coke if you want to grab me.
So you can copy the style of Elon Musk, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So any like blog post style. I think like if you're building a product to sound like somebody else, that prompt is the golden one because I worked a lot to get that right. So yeah. There you go. Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was great.